Discipline isn't something you build. And that lie, it's been eating your time alive. Every system you've tried, every 5 a.m. alarm, every new week, new me reset, all of them fell apart for the same reason. And it's not the reason you think. It's not laziness. It's not some motivation deficiency. It's that the entire model of discipline you were handed was built on science that 23 independent laboratories couldn't even confirm. In 2018, researchers tried to replicate one of the most cited findings in behavioral science, the idea that willpower drains like a battery. They ran the study across 23 labs, worldwide. It didn't replicate. So every time you sat there blaming yourself for running out of willpower, you were blaming yourself for something that may not even work. So the real question isn't, how do I get more discipline? The question is, what have you actually been fighting against this whole time? Because the answer will reframe everything. Let's get into what's actually happening here, because I'm guessing you've been in this spot before. You wake up fired up. New week, new plan, new version of yourself. And for a day or two, if you're lucky, you've got it. You're locked in. Then something slips. One missed workout. One bad meal. One night you stayed up way too late scrolling through. Nothing. And just like that, you're back at square one, telling yourself the same tired story. I just don't have discipline. Here's the thing though. That story isn't true. Researchers at University College London tracked people building new habits over time and found that missing one day or even several in a row had essentially no effect on long-term habit formation. You haven't been failing because something's broken in you. You've been failing because somebody handed you the wrong model. And tonight I want to give you the real one. If this is already hitting close to home, drop a comment right now. Just one word. Whatever word describes where you're at with discipline right now. That's it. I'll be reading them. So here's the myth you've been living inside of. The story goes like this. Discipline is a muscle. Willpower is a fuel tank. Every choice you make throughout the day burns a little bit of it. And when it's empty, you cave. You fold. You eat the thing, skip the thing, doom scroll into oblivion. That's the model. That's the model behind every just push through pep talk. Every no excuses Instagram post. Every single time you beat yourself up for not grinding harder. The problem, that model was built on a single series of studies from the 1990s. And when 23 independent labs tried to confirm it in 2018, it failed to hold up. 23 labs. And the effect didn't replicate. And here's what's even wilder. Researchers at Michigan State dug deeper and found that the whole glucose fuels willpower piece, the idea that your brain's self-control literally runs low, like some blood sugar crash, didn't hold up either. You know, it'd predict whether someone maintained self-control, their belief about whether self-control was limited. Let that land for a second. Every other video on discipline out there is telling you to strengthen your willpower, build the muscle, feel the resistance and push through it. But if the whole model is built on a foundation that 23 labs couldn't confirm, you're not strengthening anything. You're just suffering more efficiently. So if it's not willpower, then what is it? This is where it gets genuinely interesting. And honestly, this is the part most people never get to hear. Researchers at Ohio State, in a 2022 paper, found that the primary driver of self-regulatory failure in modern life isn't moral weakness. It's cognitive overload. Now think about your actual morning. Not the idealized version. The real one. Before you've done a single thing you plan to do, you've already checked your phone and responded to something. Made 5 micro decisions you didn't even register. Seen something that annoyed you. Opened an app you had zero intention of opening. And that's before 8 a.m. The modern environment is not discipline neutral. It is actively, structurally hostile to self-regulation. You're not failing at discipline. You're a human nervous system trying to operate inside a system that was specifically designed to hijack it. That's not a character flaw. That's an environmental mismatch. And once you see it that way, honestly, everything changes. Because here's what research from University College London actually showed about building consistent behavior. What's the average time for a new behavior to become automatic? Not 21 days, 66. And critically, missing days early on had no meaningful impact on the long-term outcome. The people who made it weren't the ones who never slipped up. They were the ones who stopped treating a slip as proof that they couldn't do it. Remember what I said at the beginning about something that changes the whole picture. We're almost there. But first, There's one more thing you need to understand about how behavior actually gets built. Here's what you'll hear everywhere. Make a decision every morning to be disciplined. Recommit. Remind yourself of your goals. Use motivation to carry you through. Sounds right, doesn't it? It's backwards. Research from USC, led by Wendy Wood and David Neal, found that 43% of daily behaviors aren't driven by decisions at all. They're driven by habit automaticity, context-triggered responses that completely bypass the decision-making process. The people who look the most disciplined from the outside, they're not making more decisions than you. They're making fewer. They've structured their environment so the behavior happens, not through force, through architecture. And here's the connection nobody talks about. The reason you check Instagram instead of going to the gym isn't that Instagram is more appealing on some deep level. It's that Instagram is frictionless, and the gym isn't. The phone is right there on the nightstand. The gym bag's buried in the closet. The app opens with one tap. The workout requires 12 separate decisions before you even walk out the door. That's not a discipline problem. That's a friction design problem. Peter Gallwitzer at the University of Konstanz spent years studying something called implementation intentions, basically if-then plans, and found they raised goal achievement rates by up to 300%. Not I will be disciplined. When I wake up, I will put on my shoes before I touch my phone. Specific. Contextual. Automatic, that's it. Everything I've shared here tonight is backed by real, peer-reviewed research. The 23-lab replication study challenged the ego depletion effect. The Michigan State findings on belief and self-control. The UCL study on actual habit formation timelines. Gallwitzer's implementation intention research shows that specific plans dramatically outperform motivation alone. None of this is me telling you what you want to hear. It's researchers telling you what the data actually shows. And just to be straight with you, this isn't a guarantee that everything clicks overnight. The research shows direction. You still do the work. But you do it with an accurate map now. Here's the new belief that replaces the lie. Discipline is not a force you summon. It's an environment you design. That's it. One sentence. You are not a person who lacks discipline. You are a person who's been trying to outrun a system. Your phone, your schedule, your cognitive overload, using a model of willpower that the science doesn't even fully support. The shift isn't trying harder. The shift is building differently. I told you at the start there was something about how your brain handles self-control that changes the whole picture. Here it is. Your brain isn't failing you. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. Conserve decision-making energy in a high-input world. The problem was never you. It was the model you were given to understand you. That feeling you walked in here with, I just don't have discipline, you've got an actual answer to that now. You're not missing some trait that other people have. You've been using a broken tool. Let me talk directly to you for a second. If you've tried this before and it didn't work, if you've started over more times than you can even count anymore, I want you to hear this. That's not evidence you can't change. That's evidence you were working from inaccurate information. And that's fixable. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, my situation is genuinely different. My life is too chaotic for any of this to actually apply. And honestly, that might be true. Some situations are legitimately hard, and this isn't a substitute for real support when life is genuinely overwhelming. But if my life is too chaotic, is the story you keep telling? Ask yourself. Is the chaos the reason, or is it the result? Because for many people, both things are true at the same time. Tonight, before you go to sleep, do one thing. Look at one behavior you've been trying to build, and write this down. When specific trigger, I will specific action. Not a goal. A trigger action pair. That's your implementation intention. Under 5 minutes. Put it somewhere you'll actually see it tomorrow morning. And in the comments right now say, Day 1. That's all. No explanation needed. Just day 1. Because starting in public, even quietly, matters more than most people realize. And if this hit different for you tonight, there's more where this came from. Go check out what else is on this channel. Same level of honesty. Same real research. I think you'll find exactly what you need right now. What's coming next goes even deeper than what we covered today, and I genuinely can't wait to share it with you. You were never undisciplined. You were just given the wrong map.